Okay, here we are in Vientiane, Laos. Now this is your first trip in the C-123, and I'm going to be your captain. And I'm going to have to get you to follow a certain amount of instructions from me without question. And here on takeoff, I'll line up after the run-up, and I'll add the reciprocating power to start the airplane rolling. The jets are already set at 60%, and when I call for jets, you will toggle the jets up to 100%. When we get to 90 knots, it'll be my yoke. I'll come off nose wheel steering, and I will take command of the yoke. We'll rotate and come off the ground.
Roger.
We'll bring in the nose gear, the main gear up, and climbing out and accelerating to 130 knots for climb speed. At that point, you can bring the engines back to METO power and synchronize the propellers.
Roger.
We'll begin climbing out here. I want to go up to 9,000 feet. As you notice, there's no visibility because we're in the middle of the smoke season, and it's just very murky, and it's like flying in a milk bottle. But after we get turned onto the heading, I'm going to give the controls over to you, and I want you to keep climbing up to 9,000 feet. When we level off, I want you to bring it back to cruise and keep the props in sync the whole time.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. But while we're climbing out, I'm going to just sit back here and relax in the seat and do a little recreational coloring. I really love to color in this book. There's so many serene settings, and it is very relaxing and keeps my mind occupied from darker thoughts. Now, I know you like to color too, but
yeah.
you can't because you're flying the damn airplane. However, Beetle Bailey, who's a kicker back here, sometimes wants to come up and color, but he's bad about not staying within the lines. And I really don't like him to join me on this endeavor because he sometimes gets outside the lines of the cows and things like that and colors them inappropriately, particularly the neither parts like the others. But anyways, you keep climbing on out.
All right.
We'll cruise on over to Cybery. Thank you. We leveled off, and many people think that this was something that I did just to be a little insane, but it wasn't. I was testing their mettle for their progression into the envelope of flying in Southeast Asia. This is something that took practice and somewhat courage for them to adapt to this unusual things. Everything was unusual in Southeast Asia. This was something that if they couldn't handle that, they needed to go home. And if they did go home, I probably saved their life. But this was something that I carried on with all of these new hires. Later on, in fact, many years afterwards, some of them came up and thanked me for this indoctrination. And it showed them what life was like. Now, some of these people came out of the military and were high-ranking officers, and sit there and take this from somebody like me was very demeaning to them. But I didn't care. This was my job to have them fit to help you in the cockpit when things really got bad. And sometimes they did. We lost people right and left during the last 18 months, and some of them later came and thanked me for this. I lost one friend here just recently, Gene Hassenfuss, who used to be one of our load masters. And he did an excellent job in helping me with the comedy routine with new hires. And also Beetle Bailey. Thank you very much.